is concerns Chris Armas. Chris Armas is former U.S. international, Rangnick's assistant, worked with him at Leipzig, I think at Hoffenheim too, maybe. Former coach in MLS, if I'm not mistaken. Players don't like his training sessions.
They're not keen on him, which we heard before, and we're hearing again. You're right, on the website on Friday. I don't know, some players didn't like Phil Neville, and remember the story with Phil Neville and Robin van Persie and etc. And Phil Neville trying to tell Robin van Persie how to score goals. I don't know how Chris Armas is every day with them. I don't know if his training sessions are really dated and old school, and I would find it hard that a club like Manchester United and someone as intelligent as Ralf Rangnick, with all the faith and confidence that he has in his friend Chris, will bring in someone who cannot make those players work hard, keep them interested, have drills or training that is actually for a reason and for a purpose. You don't just do drills like this. You do drills because you want to work on some patterns of play, or you want to work on certain aspects of the games, or you want to work on something that you're going to do in the following game at the weekend or on Tuesday night in this case. So I'm struggling to see what he does that they don't like, or unless he's really, really dreadful, which is possible as well.
It's
but
possible,
why would you bring
but,
someone to a club like this?
Yeah, at some point, Rangnick chose him, right?
Yeah.
Rangnick knows him. Rangnick's worked with him. To me, when I hear these stories, they're usually from disgruntled people and so on, right? To me, because the story becomes interesting when the team is doing badly under Rangnick, and then you look back and what are the reasons?
That's right.
Could it be that this guy doesn't know how to run training sessions? I look at performances. I don't think the performances are terrible. I think the performances are actually better than they were under the previous manager, certainly in the last 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
And therefore, hey, were you having more fun with Michael Carrick's training sessions?
But they were not happy with Kieran McKenna's session at the time.
They're not happy with anybody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would pay no attention. Final point on this, and I'm biased here because obviously I do not have, I have an American accent.
Yeah.
Chris Armas gets called Ted Lasso, right? Chris Armas obviously is American. So.
Yeah. Well, you mean by the dressing room?
Yeah. This is what's being reported in the story.
Yeah.
Is this a thing?
So players always have nicknames for managers, assistant coach, everything. Some are really disrespectful. Well, some are really disrespectful. Some are funny. Some are not really funny. Some are a bit disrespectful. They keep it between themselves often. Sometimes it gets leaked like this, and the press know about it. Sometimes before the manager knows. I don't know if you should take it too seriously, unless there's obviously a underlying criticism of it. So Ted Lasso could be just because Jason Sudeikis is fun and he's funny and he's got the same accent.
Maybe Armas is fun, is enthusiastic.
Yeah, maybe.
Too.
I don't know. I don't know the guy. However, if it's because they call him like that because he's useless at what he does, or certainly they don't rate him and they don't like him and etc., then it's an issue.
I think this story gets overblown. You remember when Bob Bradley became manager at Swansea?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
the
this
PK
story,
and everything. Do you remember the PK in his interview?
Yeah.
The penalty kick.
So he said PK, he used shutout, used other terms that, and the story took on a life of its own in the US. They said like, oh, the English football establishment having a go at poor Bob Bradley because he's American and his accent, his terminology, right? Well, I actually looked back and I said, right, and I read the media and I went to places in the English media I'd normally rather not go to because there's people there who I don't necessarily like the way they look at football. And really, apart from Danny Gabadon famously on the radio, there was no popular uprising against Bob Bradley because of his accent or because of the terms he used. It was just a non-story. It was one guy. But then this became a story in the States, so then it bounced back and it became a story here. Again, I don't know what's up with Chris Armas, but sometimes I get a little bit suspicious of these stories, right? If, like you said, if somebody's like, oh, look, Ted Lasso is likable and goofy and smiley, maybe Chris Armas is like that. I don't know. Maybe he's the biggest grump in the world. I don't know either. We don't know him. Chris, if you're watching, if in a couple months, maybe when you have some time on your hands, you want to come on the show, you have a standing invitation too. Along with the United social media expert, the guy who went to Brown, which is not a university but a color. Let's have him on too. Let's have him together.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.